Telluride, Colorado on a beautiful fall day. It's been cloudy for the last few days and it cleared up, and thought I would jump into the airplane and take a little fall color tour. About 20 minutes. You know, what does an airplane guy do on vacation? Well, he goes out and flies his airplane, of course. So that's what we're doing today. Going to show off a little bit more of the synthetic vision, although it's severe clear today, but you can still see the benefit of it. I'm waiting for this guy in this M2 to get started. I told him I would let him go out in front of me since I'm going out and messing around. He's actually going somewhere. So there he goes, he's starting up. I'm going to start up now. N2, introduce fuel, and watch for ignition. There it is. Charge the battery. Alright, yeah, battery's below 150 amps. I go ahead and start the light engine. Again, 12% N2. Take the throttle out of cutoff into idle. Okay, so I've set up a runway 9 departure over to Cones. I'm going to go out and just fly out to the west a little bit, do a little sightseeing, and then come back into Cones. I'm going to shoot the GPS runway 9. My plan is, traffic permitting, to shoot a low approach, or a missed approach I should say, and then go back on out and do the visual and film all this for you guys.
Citation 861 Charlie Golf Transient Ramp takes runway 27 for departure, Telluride.
Yeah, I should actually say runway 27 departure, sorry about that.
With the Telluride call, Mount Altimeter 3032, see you next time.
See you Friday.
Okay, get my roll spoiler checks done, get my stall system checks done. You can see that the synthetic vision is, well, it wasn't up yet because it didn't have a good GPS signal, but now it's got a GPS signal. It's got the synthetic vision up. You can see the runway off to our left there, that blue line. Getting the stall checks here. One of the nice things about the new upgrade is I can put the winds and outside temperature in, and it will compute my takeoff and landing data for me.
We'll send it. So it tells me I need 5,033 feet of runway, which I have. I'm just sending the V speeds up to the the PFD there. So that's done.
Telluride traffic, citation 861 Charlie Golf, departing runway 27, straight out. Telluride.
Get all my checks done here before I start moving. It's just easier. Raiders. Set the landing field elevation. 100 feet basically on the pressurization system, and it handles the pressurization from there. Autopilot check, just make sure I can disconnect it. Okay. Telluride traffic, Premier 390 Golf Mike, taxiing out for departure on runway 27. The Premier does not have windshield wipers, so this will blow off once we get moving. Ooh, that's bright. Not complaining. So it's been pretty rainy the last few days here in Telluride. Trees are just at their height.
Citation 861 Charlie Golf, 2 miles to the west, turning eastbound. 11,500 climbing, last call Telluride.
Okay, I don't see anybody else out there. Telluride traffic, Premier 390 Golf Mike, departing runway 27, straight out to Cones, and then exiting to the south, VFR. It's a nice view of the mountains in front of us on the screen. Okay, here we go. V1, rotate. Coming away. You're up. Yaw damper on. So the flight path marker is above the horizon, which means we are climbing away. See, we got a pretty big hill to our right. You would not want to take off and do much of a right-hand turn out of here. It's going up to 14.5 for now. Good, get things cleaned up. After takeoff checks done, gear up, flaps, thrust, goddamn conditions, engine sync, lights. Okay. So climbing through 12,000 feet. The guy said the color was really good on the south side of Wilson Peak and Mount Wilson, so we'll kind of head over that way real quick. Looks like it's pretty much clouded in over there, so kind of go over there. I don't know how much we're going to see. While we're doing this, get my approach set up. Good. Throttle back. We're not in any rush to go anywhere. It's a sightseeing tour today. So there's a Citation 10 that should be landing shortly at Telluride, so I'm kind of listening up for him. Maybe I can go over Trout Lake and then turn around from there and head back. See the airport off to my 9 o'clock out there. Mount Wilson and Wilson Peak from the south side. Don't get a view of that often. Usually come out of Telluride and turn to the north. The flight path marker, or the FPV, flight path vector, as Collins calls it. It's a very useful tool. It basically tells you where your airplane's going. A lot of people get confused because they see the chevrons or the nose pointing at, in this instance, like 4 degrees, but they see that the flight path vector is not pointing in that same direction. So what's actually going on is that the nose is pointed one way and the aircraft is going another, in very simplified terms. So in this instance we have a little bit of a crosswind from the right, so the nose is pointed to the right and the airplane's traveling a little bit to the left because of the crosswind. And that's reflected in the difference between the where the nose is pointed and where the flight path vector is pointed. Also, same thing with here in cruise. You can see that nose is about 4 degrees, 3.5 degrees nose high, but we're perfectly level if you look at the flight path vector. It has the horizon going right through the middle of it. Pretty lakes up here, wow. Start heading back towards Cones. Hoping to hear that Citation 10 come in. Go direct. That. Over to Cone. There's Trout Lake over the top of that ridge, going behind that ridge now. Boy, here's a really blue lake. Man, this is fun. I never get to do this. Just out sightseeing, enjoying a beautiful day. Nobody on board. Nobody worried about how much bank angle I put in. Which, by the way, I only put in about 30. I don't mind bank angle, but I know the passengers don't. You get up above about 30 and people start getting nervous. There's the airport over there to my 2 o'clock. Come right over the top of Mount Wilson and Wilson Peak here. Trout Lake's coming up here on my left side. I go out just a little bit west of Cones, turn back into Cones and start the GPS runway 9. And if traffic's permitting, like I said, I'm going to go to the missed approach point, do the missed approach, come back around for a visual. That will be it for the day. Right there is Trout Lake. We'll tip over there. Come out here, you can have one of the outfitters take you up to the Lizard Head Pass, which is just above Trout Lake, on they trailer of bicycles up, and then you take the Galloping Goose Railroad all the way down into the valley. You can actually ride all the way into town if you're so adventurous, but it's a pretty fun ride and not very challenging because it's all pretty much downhill. Okay. right over the top of Mount Wilson, and Wilson Peak's on my left.
Automated weather observation 1533. Zulu weather, wind calm, visibility 10, clear below 12,000, temperature 13 Celsius, dew point 6, altimeter 3032. Remarks. Density altitude 10,500.
Okay. We are all set up for our approach. A little bit of snow on the top of the mountain there. Okay, we're going to go down to 13,000 feet. Get the chart called up here. So one thing that's interesting on the missed approach here, you can see that this is a 11,957 foot peak, which is just off to my right. So when you come in and do the missed approach, you're at, depending on what approach you're doing, you're either 11.5 or 11.9. So you want to make sure you start climbing to make sure you clear that obstacle out there. And the missed approach is basically a right-hand turn up to 15,000 feet and directly out, back out to cones. You can see that the aircraft is displayed on the chart here. You also see out here underneath the 180 there's a mountain that's depicted, and if you look out you can see that that mountain is obscured in clouds. So there is another benefit of synthetic vision. I had synthetic vision in my previous airplanes and absolutely loved it, along with the flight path marker or flight path vector, the FPV.
Telluride traffic, 85 Hotel Alpha is taxiing off the rim for departure off of runway 27.
Okay, well we'll see where that guy's going.
5 Hotel Alpha, Telluride Unicom. No reported traffic, altimeter 3032. Have a great day.
3032, 85 Hotel Alpha. Talk to you later.
85 Hotel Alpha, Premier 390 Golf Mike. We're about 5 miles south of Cones, and we're just going to stay west of Cones. We're just doing a little sightseeing, and we're at 13,000 feet.
Thanks for the heads up. 85 Hotel Alpha, we'll keep an eye out for you.
Telluride, you have a citation November 4660 Golf, taxiing via Alpha to runway 27.
Okay, so I'm going to let all these people go out ahead of me.
Windsor Telluride, call altimeter 3032.
3032, thanks.
So I am just going to kind of go down here to 13,000 feet and just kind of circle south of Cones, staying out of these people's way. I'm just out here playing around. Down here at 13,000 feet, I will not be a factor for them. Okay, so I'm pointing right at that hill in the clouds. You can see it coming up on my PFD there. That other airplane taking off, looks like they might be making a right-hand turn around the mountain there. Let's see what happens here. Okay, well, let's go out towards Cones. Telluride traffic, Premier 390 Golf Mike, 5 miles south of Cones, inbound to Cones for the GPS runway 9. Okay, so there's that traffic. And Telluride traffic, Premier 390 Golf Mike, 2 miles south of Cones at 13,000 feet, inbound 2 Cones.
Golf Mike Windsor, com altimeter 3033.
Thank you. Okay, so kind of flew through. I was trying to stay out of those clouds there, so flew through the course. Let's see if it will grab it back. And this is actually going to be a full stop. The clouds are starting to move in a little bit here. See what kind of intercept it takes to grab this. Okay, that's pretty good. Telluride traffic, Premier 390 Golf Mike, Cones inbound on the GPS runway 9, full stop. Okay, so you can see the airport displayed on the PFD out there. Coming up on SEPMA. Airplane is going to start a descent here momentarily to follow the glide path down. Here's the runway out there. Okay, so the airplane will follow the glide path down. 11,900 is our minimum descent altitude. If we didn't have the field in sight, we would have to level off, continue straight ahead until we did. This is very important to compute a VDP, because if you level off for very long, you will be well inside the point at which you can safely descend to a landing. So there's minimums there. We'd have to level off, continue to the missed approach point. But you can see right now that it is a pretty steep approach. It's 3.62 degree glide path. So it is not something you would really want to continue much beyond this point. About a 5.5 mile final here. Go ahead and hand fly it on in from here.
2,500.
Really, the nice thing about the flight path vector is that you set your flight path vector on your glide slope angle of 3.5 degrees. It's a lot easier when it's a 2.5 or 3 degree glide slope, but 3.5. And you'll just go right on down like you're on a rail here. So I'm going to get down a little bit below the glide path, because this is a little bit high. Like I said, this is a little bit of a steep glide path. Start to see the extended center line of the runway on the PFD. Slightly high compared to what I'd like to be, but trending just nicely. Telluride traffic, Premier 390 Golf Mike, 1 mile final, runway 9.
$500.
Nice landing. Sierra Golf Mike is clear at Telluride. That's fog. 24 miles, 32 minutes, and 490 pounds of fuel.
Hey P1D fans, thanks for riding along with me today. And as always, you can follow me on Instagram at Premier1Driver. And I don't ask for money for my videos, but if you want some cool swag, you can go to my website, Premier1Driver.com, and get yourself a cool t-shirt or hat. Thanks for watching, fly safe, we'll see you next time.